Hey there, it's Amelia, and in this video I'm going to explain how to get more exposure for your books with book recommendations on Amazon KDP. If you are a self-published author who uses KDP, this option will help you market and sell more books. And before I begin, if you find this video helpful, remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Let's get right to it. From the KDP Dashboard, you definitely want to explore the Marketing tab here to view all the marketing resources that KDP has to offer. If you're new to KDP, check out the links in my description for a KDP overview and how to get started. There's a lot of marketing tools on this page, such as KDP Select, Amazon Ads, A+ Content, and so forth. Now, the book recommendations that I mentioned are kind of hidden behind Author Central. So to access Author Central, you can get there a couple of ways. From this marketing tab, under the Author Central section, you want to choose your marketplace and then select Manage Author Page. You can also go directly to Amazon Author Central by going to this URL here, which is author.amazon.com. At the time of creating this video, KDP has this alert here about book recommendations. It says that this feature of adding book recommendations can help readers decide what to read next. Now, to proceed to create book recommendations for your books, you could either select this link here in this alert box, which takes you right into the book recommendations, or in the event that you don't see this alert, just go to the Reports and Marketing tab at the top, and then you'll see Book Recommendations in this section. Next, click Create Recommendation, and then on this screen, it tells you a little bit more about the book recommendations. As I mentioned, it will help readers decide what to read next by adding book recommendations. You'll see a series of questions below, and you'll see two tabs. One is Books by Others, and the other is Books I've Written. If you're promoting your own books, you want to create your own book recommendations. However, if you want to promote books by other authors, you can answer the questions in the Books by Others tab. So for the question where you want to recommend a book, you'll pick Select Book, and then you can enter the title, select the book, and so forth. Now I'm going to show you some book recommendations that I've already created under the Books I've Written tab. So I've answered each of the questions and selected one of my books. Once you select the book, you're going to see a box where you can add an optional note. So the first question I answered was, what's your most talked about book? I picked this particular book out of my children's book series because it's the book that readers find the most amusing because of the title, Squishy Wishy Meatballs. So let me show you how I added the note. Once I selected the book, you'll see an optional note section here. There's a character limit for each response, so I recommend preparing a sentence or two, and then you can always trim it down as needed. So you'll want to enter a sentence or some words or phrases that the reader can get an idea of why it would be helpful for them to purchase your book, something a little bit about your book, and why they might enjoy reading your book. You also have the option of once you select a book and enter a note, you can go back and edit it anytime, or you can delete or change the book. So the next question was, what book do you wish more readers knew about? I selected this book to prompt readers to consider if they want to learn more about my author journey. But I'm going to change this note. So I'll select Edit Note. And currently I have a note here that says, learn about my journey and how I wrote and self-published 9 books in 5 years while working full-time. So I'm going to change it to something that is more about them rather than me. And by the way, entering this note in this box is a perfect opportunity to use ChatGPT, where you can enter your sentence or sentences and ask ChatGPT. You can polish that and make it sound better. So I'm going to change mine to say, learn 7 proven steps to get to the finish line and take your writing to the next level and become a published author. Oops, and I just made it with 2 characters to spare. So when finished editing, you'll click Next, and you'll review your recommendation, and when you're ready, click Submit. Once you submit a recommendation along with your note, your book recommendation will be reviewed, and they recommend checking back in about 3 business days. Just a reminder that if you submit at least 3 or more new book recommendations, they will consider sending your recommendations to your followers through email and or push notifications. That's why it's so important to tell your readers to go to your author page and click follow so that they will be notified of any updates and recommendations. And the next question I answered is, what book should readers start with? So because this is my first children's book and it's really special to me in honor and memory of my mom, I decided to select my Silly Woolly Apple Cake, and for my note I wrote, my most cherished book designed to foster love within families by promoting fun activities such as the joys of cooking. What's a book readers can get lost in? This is a perfect question for a novel or a suspense thriller, but in my case, I don't have a novel just yet, but I picked my writing and brainstorming book to encourage writers to purchase this book, and the note I wrote was, this little book of big ideas sparks notions, inspires writers, and gets those creative juices flowing. Now, even though the note is optional, when you set up a book recommendation, I would recommend adding a note because I'll show you on the author page how it looks, and you definitely want to take advantage of adding the notation to go along with the book recommendation. So I'll move on over to my Amazon author page. Readers can get to your author page by clicking your author name next to any of your books. So for example, this is one of my books, so a reader could get to my author page by just clicking on my name here, and then that would bring them to my author page. So on your author page, you'll see your bio, your most popular book, inventory of all your books, and then below that, you'll see a new section with the recommendations, and here's all the 4 books that I recommended, and you'll see the question at the top, the book I recommended, and then the notation that I added will appear at the bottom of the recommendation. By the way, if you're new to KDP and you have not set up your author page just yet on Author Central, I have a separate video on how to create and edit your author page, and I'll put a link in the description below. Now, remember it said once submitted and reviewed, your book recommendations will also show on your Amazon website. Let's go take a look on the Amazon website. And here we are. And if I scroll down, you'll see in the About the Author section, it says follow authors to get new release updates plus improved recommendations. So I see they're starting to add information on the Amazon website to prompt readers to follow the author and receive notification about book recommendations. There's also one more awesome feature I want to show you. So recently I noticed this new carousel of books up at the top of my book listings. But I noticed it didn't always show, so I experimented to see how to get this carousel to display. What I noticed is if you're on your author page and you click on any of your books, try this on your end and see if those steps display this new By This Author carousel of books. This can also give you increased exposure for your books and help readers know what other books are available on your bookshelf. Now, I recently contacted KDP to inquire about this feature. They said it's a new feature currently in beta mode. So I noticed from the author page, if I click on a book in the recommendation, like for instance, I'll go ahead and click on this author journey book, then I do not see the carousel of books. So they're obviously still working on that particular carousel and getting that to display depending on how someone selects a book from your author page. Again, if I click on that particular book from my inventory, let's see if I see the carousel. Yes, and I noticed what it does is it will put the particular book that you selected first, and then the other books will list by popularity. This is a good sign of more things to come. And it also helps to give your books more exposure to increase activity. The more people click on your books, even if they do not buy your books, that increases the activity and stimulates the algorithm to help you market your book and increase your sales. Well, that's it for today's video. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and smash the like icon and remember to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. Bye now.